Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, aloha! Welcome to the Cafe Gallery right here. Hi, everybody. It's great to see everybody. Woo! Thank you. See, I'm just my ultra crazy summer stuff. Hi, I got a little clap for you. You're awesome. Hi. But we've got, it's nice and cool in here compared, although it's starting to get better seasonally, but, you know, it's better than what? I actually just heard that this past month in Chicago, it hadn't been this hot since 1916. It's been like 94 years, and I'm like, what? I mean, it blew my mind. I was like, this is a hot time for all.
That was before inflation. The degrees were different than they
This is true, considering the scale of things now, so definitely. Hi, for people who do not know, people may have known from the past, if they'd ever heard, I had written a poem called Made Any Difference, and I wrote it intentionally to be sung to a song. And I wanted to put it into a single.
Yeah.
This has made any difference with Marvin Tate's D Settlement's dinner date.
All right.
So I'm at my bar, my favorite hangout, and I just overheard from people talking that another guy who is always here in the past few months has had a few strokes. Now this is just grapevine, I just heard snippets, but I need to see him put in my 2 cents. He went out for a smoke, and even though I don't, I walked up to him after he lit up. I reached my hand out toward his cigarette. He offered me a new one, but I wanted his. Then, holding a smoke, I told him that I heard. I spoke of his wife, asked about his kids. And I don't really want to get on a high horse, but we care for him, we want him happy. He said I was right, and he'll take some time off. Then, holding his smoke, he said that he should quit. That's when he handed me the smoke and then walked away. I stood there for a while, sucking nicotine, wondering if I made any difference. Thank you. See, try different things. Thank you, Marvin, Tate. Thank you. That was awesome. And I'm just going to leave this here because I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm going to have to call up, my lovely and charming, I'm running late because I have to go to our tours at 6:30 sidekick. So please, ladies and gentlemen, give it up. Maybe he would have somebody else to introduce the night, but of course you're playing, you communist pig. What? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I would like to apologize for the technical difficulties. Her iPod died, so she's stuck using an Android device, and she's an Apple user, so she doesn't know what to do.
So anyway, shush with that. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the bouncer himself, Mr. Bob Rashkow.
Hey Bob, read to that same piece of music.
Where's Gary? Gary's not here.
Gary's not here this week.
I'll read to that piece.
I don't care what the hell it is.
I'm into aleatoric stuff.
I'm going to read a few and then I'm going to call Sally Cooper up. She has a couple pieces that she wrote. By the way, I saw TJ and David Theater on the Lake with my friend Seth Saturday night. The musician who preceded them is a guy named Ike Riley, who's wonderfully irreverent. One of his songs was called Commi, C-O-M-M-I, and Drives a Nova. got a kick out of that. I'm talking to a vacuum. It's a very vague vacuum. It comes and it goes. I know it will move back. Ever persistent, ever murky, fraught with constant noise and sundry, confusing me at every turn of the dial. What if somebody really is there? If there's a listening device firmly in place for collection of sound, ever present, ever attentive, always poised to receive? What if they're waiting, hoping for the best time to make their presence felt, to unlock this mysterious trunk? And from the Outlaw Bible of American Poetry, this is William S. Burroughs again. I was tempted to read Cold Lost Marbles again because I love that piece. I actually dragged this out of the car to read again in the house. This is called My Legs, Senor. Speaking of senor moments. Attic room and window, my ice skates on the wall. The priest could see the bathroom, pale yellow wood panels, toilet, young legs, shiny black leg hairs. It is my legs, senor. Luster of stumps rinses his lavender horizon, feeling the boy groan and what it meant. Face of a lousy kid on the doctor's table. I was the shadow of the waxing evenings and strange window panes. I was the smudge and wine of missed times in the reflected sky. Points of polluted water under his lavender horizon window pane, smudge scrawled by some boy. Cold lost marbles in the room, the doctor's shabby table, his face. Boy skin spreads to something else. Christ, what's inside? He screams. Flesh and bones rose, tornado. That hurts! I was the smudge and wine of missed legs, shiny black leg hair, silver paper in the wind. Frayed sounds of a distant city. And now, because this wonderful improv and sketch comedian now has a commercial for, I think, US Cellular on television, and he's just wonderful in it, I'm going to read Tim. This is about a guy, one of many that I've had crushes on over the years. Tim. Let me start again.
It's quite a crush.
Makes you speechless.
Throat. Crush was in my throat. Right on.
Poetry takes a new direction.
He isn't the same guy riding the crowded Clark Street bus, not the barrel of joy frolicking around the stage, the bucket of thrills, grabbing other men in the clinch, half winking at me and you, sensing I wish I could get up too, get victimized by Tim. There's this sun around him. He's here to play, here to moisten my day. Tell him you love him, his eyes burn with delight. Buy him a beer, he'll be your bud for life. But he's not the same guy, looking up from his texting, between Grace and Southport, puppy dog expression, cherry frost lips, trace of freckles, sweetly skilled hair, red, blonde, that sculptured head is heading back down. I can't catch his eye. I jump off, whisper, hi. Thanks. Sally Cooper. And just step up. There we go. And you stand here. Grab those cones. Which one do you want to do first?
Let's do Magic Carpet Ride.
All right.
When I was a little girl growing up on the south side of Chicago,
Get the mic to her.
the south side of Chicago, my mom's first apartment on her own had no furniture in the living room except for...
John, can you get the mic?
Okay. Mic issues? Okay.
Mic issues.
No furniture, okay, good. No furniture except for a Persian rug and a 1950s hi-fi. I spent my whole childhood in that room dancing to George Gershwin, Cole Porter, Scheherazade, And I used to trace the patterns of the Persian rug with my fingers and toes. So writing really is psychological, and I realize how many doors and windows of memory it opens up. So this one is called Magic Carpet Ride.
Should I start?
Mm-hmm.
My playground was a Persian rug.
A kiss, a dance, and then a hug.
George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue.
I danced to Dinah Washington, too.
Cole Porter's songs had savoir-faire.
Could make me twirl right through the air.
All the music had color cues.
Reds and yellows, greens and blues.
Purples, pinks, opalescent hues.
Every step would make me feel.
That my fantasies were real.
Retracing patterns with my feet.
I wove a world that was so sweet.
Dancing out with which was inside.
Enjoy your magic carpet ride.
So when I wasn't sequestered in this living room, I was sequestered in the backyard. So this one is about my memories of laying in the grass and sleeping under the sun in my backyard.
This was near Midway Airport, southwest side?
No, this
you were
was
south.
southeast.
Oh, southeast side.
When I lived near the steel mill.
Ah, okay. Yeah, Tom Roby knows about that area too.
So this one is entitled Summer.
Oh, this is where I do the first and last name. A long, long time ago, in a misty garden green, blueberry skies caressed vanilla clouds. In this perfect wonderland, the small, shy girl fell asleep.
On a shiny green carpet with dandelion dots, she flew like Aladdin through fragrant Persian dreams. When she awoke, she saw a red bird perched on a clothesline, singing sweet songs to her.
The crisp white sheets swooped over the lilac bushes to evoke a child's sensuous backyard paradise. She closed her eyes again and bit into a fuzzy, juicy peach. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, also, Janet's featuring at Beach Poets this Sunday, 3 p.m. at Loyola Park, Greenleaf in the Lake, and Bob and I are featuring next Sunday, July 29th. Be there or be square. You're out?
You get your stuff.
I pulled a Charlie Newman and called it an email, a shameless self-promotion, where I just like, just in case anybody's willing to deal with the heat, you can always come to Beach Poets. Because I just found out about it and I get to read some poems about the periodic table. That's what I'm going to be reading. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I think I'm going to call up a Mr. Bill Yarrow next. Please give it up for Bill. You're awesome. Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
The first poem I'm going to read is called, maybe it's inappropriate for a summer show, but the first poem is called Black Ice on the Bridge. Acts have no meaning, but they do have trajectory. The string quartet waxes the mustaches of its accusers. Innocence has no meaning, but it does have motive. When the lamprey pond overflows, the pole beams will require stanchions. Appetite has no meaning, but it does have velocity. The last handful of anthracite coal is smelted in view of the Opium Museum. Marriage has no meaning, but it does have pedigree. The box turtle in the intersection tries, as the twilight worsens, to back up. Mystery has no meaning, but it does have gristle. Fog spreads across the mustard grass with no regard for the black ice on the bridge. This next one is called The Tsunami Future. Many of my friends are missing digits, but no one I know is missing a limb. That's the nature of fortune. It's incremental. One day you own a bay window in a house adjacent to Baxter Woods, and the next week you inherit a cottage overlooking Simeon Bay. One day your daughter marries a furrier, and the next day your wife moves to San Rafael. Fortune spaniels after you, and when it finally licks you on the heel, you find that it is made of tar. At long last, your dream has come true. Your future is watertight. The fraying seam of tomorrow has been sealed. Ah, but you miss the risk of rain. You long to get in on the hurricane. The lesson I'm going to read is called Paradise Island. A man comes out of the waves, gasping, panting, stumbles, falls, blind with happiness. The shallow water does what it can to kill him. He's shivering, so I place over him my terry cloth robe, a first anniversary gift from you. A crowd is gathered and drags him from the dying waves toward the awful solace of the sand where he lies, having outswum his drowning, having fallen out of the sea. You look down on this man on the ground. He is moaning thank you into the earth. You did the right thing, you say. I did the right thing. Yes, but the robe, the new robe, your gift is ruined. I ruined it. These thoughts swim in my head. 15 years later, not a week goes by that I do not think about the fate of the pale blue robe you gave me to wear on our anniversary vacation by the green waves. 15 years later, not a week goes by that I do not remember the texture, smell, and complexion of the water out of which you and I watched the drowning man emerge. Thank you.
Which guy? Hi, that's what happens when you're running around like a crazy person. Hi there, and thank you. And this is will have to be hooked up to it. Yeah. Because there were a lot of guys going, I thought I would work on my poem, Made Any Difference, but I try to make it as guy-like as I can pull off. And some of you know about this. So let's see how I can pull this off. Well, my hair is not going to look really godlike if I pull that back. So you have to figure out how I'm going to effectively do this. To be like, well, granted, I got the earrings, but hopefully you don't notice that. Sorry. This is music from a brass performance art show, and this is just me telling you a story from one of my guy friends' perspectives. This has made any difference.
So, I'm at my bar, my favorite hangout, and I just overheard from people talking that another guy who's always here, in the past few months, has had a few strokes. And this is just grapevine. I just heard snippets, but I need to see him. Put in my 2 cents. He went out for a smoke, and even though I walked up to him after he lit up. I reached my hand out toward his cigarette. He offered me a new one, but I wanted his. Then, holding his smoke, I told him that I heard. I spoke of his wife, asked about his kids, and I don't really want to get on a high horse here, but we care for him, and we want him happy. He said I was right, and he'll take some time off. Then, holding his smoke, he said that he should quit. He handed me the smoke, and then walked away. I stood there for a while. Something wondering if I made any difference. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm sure you don't want Janet back at this point in the game, but I figured there was such a string of guys going, I figured I could just join the boys club here and call up number 1, a 4 for the open mic. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for a Mr. Charlie Newman.
How do I sound with that voice?
Let's start it.
Okay. Let's do this.
Would you like the voice or would you like a regular voice? She's gonna hate me with the voice.
I got rickets, I got spit, I glow like velour in the dark. My teeth are all broke, but I ain't no joke, no. I am the greatness of Newark. My children cast a war of spells. They all got their old man spark. I am old, but I'm hit, I gave them my chip, yeah. I am the greatness of Newark. The greatness of Newark, the greatness of Newark, the king does the queen on the throne. The greatness of Newark, the greatness of Newark, nobody can leave me alone. I don't chew nothing 100 times, I eat as if I'm a shark. Much as I crave cake, I prefer raw steak, cause I am the greatness of Newark. The greatness of Newark, the greatness of Newark, I am what I am, don't you see? The greatness of Newark, the greatness of Newark, everybody wants to be me. Jump down, turn around, pick a bell, if that's how you get your high marks. But jumping's for fools who stutter and drool. Listen up, I'm the greatness of Newark.
Now I sound like Jerry Lewis. Now I can go back to this one. Sure. Dean! I don't do a whole lot of stuff that sounds like Dr. Seuss, but that's... Everybody casts somebody to be old because everybody can, but not me. I have dark teeth, I joke, I develop the kids in me, beat that, convince yourself you're cast fine, you're fine, fine, and then it's my turn. Eventually I will expose your rickets, eventually. You won't even mind, you will glow like an old joke, extending everything with every flippant thing, every conversation, every tooth, every spring, every Cleopatra cast your way. Me? I don't Cleopatra much. I like the gnomes, the mattress mornings, the always young spring actresses everybody meets and greets in the street. See, I'm just that way. I war, I want, I won't, I will conversate powerful, negative, well thought out, then broke dark until Cleopatra's rickets have children. Hey, I spring like nobody, sister. I'm philosophy, dig. I'm slow beat, everything's grimness but hip. I party, I am a party of one, and hey, you ain't invited. So as you can tell, I'm on a grimness kick. I fire truck dream enchantment for necessity. I write you a poem so good it makes you scarecrow insanely of holy moly understanding you cannot believe, and broke down colossal size, accentuating the God of your father, always in need of tax-exempt histories of good deeds or 10 more on reality. I rush hour without suffering the grind of desire or the end of preaching nose to ass whistling suicide. I blow, howl, Botox, crow, mumble, grumble. I make you wish like never before for the grimness but settle in a New York heartbeat for the schmaltz. I make you for never comfortable in this life and the next, stumbling, letting, pulling, exploding, believing, knowing that I wrote you a poem so good it gave you spiritual HIV, and I did it in 10 minutes, flat.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And that was awesome. And by the way, that was a real priceless thing to have Charlie Newman
sounding like this.
when that was incredible. That was really awesome. And the beauty of it is because we are recording the open mics and that often becomes a podcast, you might be able to hear that on YouTube or something in the upcoming, so you can hear him being
The grimness of Newark.
the
The
goodness.
grimness.
Oh my God, the grimness of Newark, I love it. But what I'm holding in my hand here is this bag, and it's already got a ton of money in it. Woo, because our phenomenal feature, Lucia Boleyn, deserves a lot. But the thing is, even though there's a lot of money in here, our phenomenal feature deserves more money. So I'm going to give an arm shot. Wow! You first, of course, later on the piano. Well, you know, apparently it needs more money, so they'll have some weight and go further or something. So pass it around, give a lot of money for our feature this evening. And, see, this is what I get for not bringing up a list. Lucia. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Senior. See, this is like it's a guy night, so I had to do my guy voice. So ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Mr. Bob Lawrence. Now I feel like I have to ask everybody that comes here up here, do you want to have that voice or what it sounds like?
Oh.
Or would it frighten you too much?
There's one poem I work on. We'll see.
Okay.
Anyway, hello everybody, how we doing? Hey! All right. I went to the barber today, got my hair cut, and I saw myself in a high-resolution mirror. And I realized my self-concept's built on three things. Low-res mirrors at home, dim lighting, and hopes that people around me have less than 20/20 vision. Hey, what's better than the alternative? I have my pose with this little book tonight. It's not because I think it's cool writing in a little book, but the printer is down. Yeah, this book was given to me by my employer, who laid off 6% of the workforce this week. Oh, times are tough, times are tough. Kid in the neighborhood, he's got a recent college graduate, he applied to Trader Joe's for a job, and he didn't get it. He wasn't Ivy League. But anyway, let's get into the poetry here. The first piece is called City Images. I like to collect images, and this book is good for that kind of thing. How hot was it? Not one old lady crossed the street in a long overcoat. Walking westbound in the crosswalk, a pedestrian pokes a blind man's stick at the asphalt with his right hand, and with his left hand shields his eyes from the setting sun. The window of the neon sign store twists and glows like a portal to the past. A woman on roller skates zips down the middle of the street, pulled by a tiny dog on a long leash. We stopped kayaking on the North Branch after hearing about untreated sewage bobbing and weaving beneath our keels. Before I put the key in the ignition, the flashing signal light of another driver waiting for my spot. Urban angst, off to a favorite restaurant, only to meet a boarded up window. Why is the drunk at the bar telling me her life story so coarse and ugly? Gray autumn day, a man rakes leaves with a bent coat hanger. Yesterday's snow, already coated with a dusting of soot. So those are some city images, and I hope to add to those. Here's a little piece called Reductio ad Hitlerum. It's actually now a fallacy, okay? Adolf Hitler walked on 2 legs. On most days, he ate 3 meals. He used a flush toilet, slept in a bed with blankets and sheets. He went to the barber for haircuts. He'd like to take in a movie. He was attached to his mother and to his pets, dogs and canaries. He got a kick out of telling jokes, and he enjoyed waving to people. He didn't smoke and discouraged others from taking up the habit. You, sir, are obviously a Nazi, just like Adolf Hitler. I sort of hate, in politics, people are so quick to make these Hitler analogies. And now the last piece, the battle of the books. Lawrence's laws of moving. 1, it takes 50% longer than anticipated. 2, it always involves unpleasantries. Case in point. It's hard, okay. My handwriting, I like to print things for a reason. Hauling boxes and books out of a closet in a north side apartment. I set the last box, smaller, square in shape, only partially filled on the bedroom floor. An explosion of roaches crawling up the sides of the box like lava. Book glue eating roaches, their legs scratching on cardboard, a horror movie sound effect. Some tumbling off of the others, huge things, almost thumb size, reminiscent of their 3-foot-long cousins from the coal age. Roaches can withstand nuclear radiation, but not conventional warfare. I race for my can of Raid, return, and open fire on any roach reaching the rim of the box. The leaders tumble into the pit, and more keep coming up. Yes, Sergeant, I'll keep firing until I blast the very last one. At last, the battlefield, littered with plump, shiny insect corpses, is silent, motionless. Maybe a Kindle isn't such a bad idea after all.
Maybe that Kindle isn't such a bad idea after all. And you know, he mentioned Hitler, and I have to say that a gentleman who just had a chapbook published at Scars Publications, the literary magazine company that I run, well, organization, not a company, just had this thing called Gunther. And it's actually his second release, and it's all like things all about Hitler related, and it made me think of that. And it made me think that I have to pass this chapbook, because Bob Rashkow always keeps these things. It's something that of mine. It's just a select few poems that I've never read before, and I've called it Depression, the Singles, because they're a bunch of really short pieces. Well, I actually had a Morrissey compilation CD, and I called it Depression, the Singles. It was all Morrissey stuff, so I'm like, I mean, I have no idea if I'm going to read stuff from it, but you know, I may. But the reason why I'm talking about the publishing stuff, like that Hitler stuff from the new chapbook release from CEE on cc&d magazine, is I was going to read a select few poems from this thing is, I have to tighten this up, is from the July issue of cc&d magazine, which has this really cool skunk on the cover. And I thought I would just share things from a few other people. I'm not going to read the Bruce Madsen poem in here because he's in here half the time and he reads stuff, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm just not gonna. So I'm going to pick a few short pieces. This is by Joseph Hart, and this is called As I See It. Everyone loves Hammerstein. And for 10 million years, everyone believed the world was flat. Those who run in gangs believe in God, just like your mother. Big guys win, but adaptation makes the spirit numb. Thank you. I'm picking some of the regulars because there are a few people that have like a lot of poems in here, and I know I've heard people like Charlie Looney. What was the last name? This is a piece by Brian Looney called Family Poison Pack. A little bit longer, we'll see. Buy 'em up. Dirty 18 count, the Family Poison Pack. Fast ingredients melt through metal. Do not thaw until consumption. Never forget the prime directive. They're only going down the throat and flooding through the body. They only power vital organs, heart, kidneys, liver, lungs, brain, etc. Dirty fuel is better than empty. Empty is a kind of hell. Family Poison Pack, dirty dollars, a week of mangy meals. It isn't great, but we're buying more. We can't afford escargot.
Give me a gut bomb, a foamy filler. Wrap it up all nice and tight. Sorry for my stumble on my reading, Brian Looney, but thank you very much. And I had one other one, but I have to figure out where on earth it is. I have it in here. There. No, that's not it. I have to have another one. I thought I did. Maybe I don't, and I'll just leave it at the 2. Because I'm not going to read that one, that's too long. So I'm not going to read anything else. So if you want to know about this issue, because somebody's buying this copy off of me, because I won't even have it at the end of the night, you can always get it online at scars.tv. There is a web link for all issues that are perfect bound, 84-page. I'm just advertising way too much, but they're really cool, and they're shiny, and you can have a dead skunk on the cover. Sorry. All right, I'm done talking about my stuff. But if you want to know anything or submit writing, you always can, because I've got a lot of Scars addresses, and I would like to read your poetry because that's what I do during the days. That's my day job, sort of. Unless I'm selling photos for a photo company. Unless I'm doing that one. Stop it. Enough, Jen. Ladies and gentlemen, from one host to another, please give it up for Mr. Patrick Hurley. Patrick, get up here. You should show your books.
And give us any word on the new venue, if there is one.
Yeah, the new venue.
Working on it.
I'm working on Mustache. Don't know if that's going to happen or not. Also working on...
That's a place? Okay.
Yeah, Cafe Mustache. It's just south of Revolution Brewery.
Okay. It's more than cafe beer, isn't it? That's right around the corner.
And then
A little small.
I'm also trying to fill gaps with maybe private residences if anybody wants to volunteer, or artist studios. So also, I'm in writer's block, which usually means I end up publishing instead. I have printed books, finally. My 3rd, 4th, and 5th book I have copies of. My 8th book I've just finished final edits on. My nice signature paper for many of them are recycled paper bags. It feels great, it holds ink well, and it's a lot of work. So I'll read a piece from the 3rd and 5th book and the 8th book. So from Pain of Love and Loneliness. My heart at the bocce bar. Between you and me, there is a glass on the bar. The din of conversations we never had, but listened to in longing. There are libations beyond our capacity to imagine, and every elixir we would dare to consume in an attempt to forget who we are and imagine a dream we had. Between you and me are years kept to ourselves and brief moments shared with our favorite toasts. There's the love we long to share and the hatred we wish to escape, but share anyway in joking mannerisms. Between you and me, here, now, is the stale stench of the collected lives and longing which penetrates the back of our minds and returns with us to our hiding places. And here, now, dividing our skin are the shields we carry, the badges we adorn, displaying our successes, our failures, our tired, tired lives, reaching out cheers to our desire. Between you and me, there is nothing but the wall of fear we build to protect the little jewel within. There is nothing but the gleam of perspiration on a hungry forehead, ready for food, afraid to eat. There is nothing but the evening we share with the intention to forget, and we never do. Between you and me, there is a glass on the bar, and I chose this glass to forget that I was what you chose to forget. So set 'em up again, drink 'em down again, because it's the time between now and last call that remains between you and me. So this book's quite old, and a couple people that bought it in the first or earlier printings, when they read it cover to cover, told me that it made them cry. So if you want something to have a cathartic cry, buy my book. So from Janet's favorite title, Pull Tabs and Other Things to Stick Your Fingers Through, which waited for years for a nice cool cover. Happiness, water and a raindrop falling, filling my imagination with a world of memory, a universe of smiles, cast in front of unspeakable secrets, shining moon pearl eyes staring into adventures never known. Happiness, silver shining dewdrop, poised on the needle of a cactus in a dry desert at morning, just after the birds stop singing their welcome sunshine song, just before the air is hot, when thirst is all that's on your mind. So one from the most recent, Screws Fall Out, which has this wonderful photo of
That's cool, yeah.
of my house in Alabama. Yeah.
Is that really impressive?
Movement of life. This life moves in ways we are unable to control, taking us through heaven and hell. You are there on the sofa, and I can't touch you. You laugh at a movie, but I see you crying inside. There was love, there was life. We created life beautiful. We embodied love, and now it is spent. Now you struggle just to be my friend. This life, wrapped in past experience, past emotion, takes and takes every breath until the last. We are unable to control the outcome of our desires, of our longing. It is pointless and trivial, yet we breathe. We reach for tomorrow in hope that it will be stronger than today, that it will show us purpose, meaning, value. And each flight of the sun, each flight of the moon brings us more confirmation of our fragility. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Very cool. I think I'm going to have to call up Mr. Suave and Debonair, the man that decides to stroll in late, just be like, yeah, I think I'd like to read something. Maybe you'd like to have that crazy male voice. So, I don't know if he was here for that.
Would you like to talk in this voice for any of your poetry? Mr. Michael Hoag. Please, ladies and
Gentlemen, give it up for Michael Hoag.
Were you here to hear me do this? Yeah, it was great. Sound like Drake.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I think Charlie has a great imitation of Drake. I'd love to hear that someday.
But him with that
East Jersey.
It was awesome.
I always love being here. It's so great. You get all types. Let's go where it's warm and do chores. We'll count the horizons and brush the air clean. We'll find water to wash, and everywhere feel gravity. Let's go to the bees and do chores. We'll correct the passive and leave food. We'll number letters and all the time iron. Let's turn around and do chores. We'll try roasted pollen and clap tree leaves. We'll name our worms and ever to ever polish in sand. Oh, I'm on a worm kick. This is another worm poem. Hey mole, let me have a worm. I'll water the ground and plant worm-loving verge. I'll keep the mole eaters out and I'll never pour a footing. Just let me have a worm. Hey mole, let me stay underground. I'll lose my eyes and start hearing. We'll skim just below the surface and curl to the right and I'll twist to the left. And together we'll do the mole dance. Just let me stay underground.
And I'm so disappointed that he didn't use that voice.
And
then we could do our mole dance together.
it would have sounded
Hysterical.
sorry, that would have sounded hysterical. I'm sorry. I think he was going to set something up with this guy. Was there anybody else? I believe I have the open micers all set. I think so. So I'm going to be closing my evening, and I'm hoping that this guy will be setting up The final one, oh boy, you know I keep doing all these different takes. Ooh, I could click. Of this piece made any difference? How are the other two? They're interesting and different to hear them in different ways. You know, the crazy male voice.
Yeah, this is Francois.
And we'll have Francois on this one. The music that you're about to hear from this was actually music that was generated for this poem from Francois Le Roux, the How Man of South Africa. He actually brought it, and he's like, hopefully you'll be able to get it. And he put it together, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I might even like just cry. Just all these instruments that this man put together for this thing, and it's a good preface for the bonus week that we have, where the How Man of South Africa is our feature, and then we do a show together afterwards. So this is the last time you're going to hear this poem done as a song. This is Made Any Difference. So I'm at my bar, my favorite hangout, and I just overheard from people talking that another guy who's always here in the past few months has had a few strokes. Now this is just grapevine. I just heard snippets, but I need to see him put in my 2 cents. He went out for a smoke, and even though I don't, I walked up to him after he lit up. I reached my hand out toward his cigarette. He offered me a new one, but I wanted his. Then holding a smoke, I told him that I heard. I spoke of his wife, asked about his kids. And I don't really want to get on a high horse here, but we care for him, we want him happy. He said I was right, he'll take some time off. Then holding a smoke, he said that he should quit. He handed me the smoke and then walked away. I stood there a while, sucking nicotine, wondering if I made any difference. Thank you, Francois. Thank you, all of you guys. Thank you. Yeah, that's why.